Hey guys, it is Christine. Welcome to another video. I have filmed 3. This is my 3rd video filmed today because my kids aren't here, and it's so easy to film when the kids aren't here because you don't get interrupted 5 gazillion times. So yeah, this is just so much easier. Anyway, they will be back tomorrow and I have missed them, but I've also really enjoyed my break. They've been at my parents' place and it's been amazing. So sorry, that was just like a wild tangent, but it's so different to film videos without noise and like breaking up fights and then answering 5 questions about why the earthworm moves the way it moves outside in the dirt, like it's just so different. So I can't help but mention it. Anyway, I am going to be talking about our upcoming homeschool year and what my plan is for our schedule for school and all of that jazz. So if you're interested in that, please keep watching. But also if you're new, don't forget to subscribe because I would love to have you along here. It is so wonderful. I was just saying to my mom the other day, I was talking about like YouTube and how I haven't had a ton. I mean, I'm not a massive YouTuber, so that's probably also explains it. But I have just had really good comments on my videos and really wholesome conversations. And I think that speaks a lot about the homeschool community. And I'm just so grateful to have you guys. So thank you for being here. And if you want to join this little space, please go ahead and subscribe. Our homeschool schedule for the new year. Last year, we did 10-week terms. I mean, it was a little bit weird because of COVID as well. Like, it just kind of messed things up a bit too. But we typically stuck with the school system's terms here in New Zealand, and those are 10-week terms, and there's 4 of them. Well, they're like 8 to 10 weeks. And then we have a break over the summer, and I did not enjoy that at all. I was burnt out by the end of every term, and by the end of the year I was just done. Like, I was so done. And so I was like, no, we are not doing that for the new year. So here is my plan for the new year, and of course this is subject to change because that is what homeschooling is all about, meeting needs, meeting you where you're at. My plan is to do 6 weeks on, 1 week off. What we did last year was 10 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and we did that throughout the year. So 6 weeks on, 1 week off, and I think we have a total of 6 terms. That's correct. So 6-week terms is what I am planning on. I am also planning on doing a 4-day week. So the 5th day, I am planning on like library trips or field trips, running errands if we need to, also like chore day around the house, clean up before the weekend, and if we have any sort of stuff we need to catch up on, then we've kind of got that day to do it. So that is what I am planning on for our school year. And I'm hoping that it'll mean that we're a little bit more well rested because we're having more frequent breaks, but they're also not too long. Like, I feel like a week's good and then we can get back into it. And it just gives me a chance to catch my breath throughout the year. So that is my plan for as far as like schedule for fitting school in. Our daily schedule, I have no idea. I was sitting here looking at like the school, and I just think it's going to change because I have a 2-year-old who is going to need attention, and I just don't know. We're adding quite a bit more school into our day this year, and so I feel like I'm not sure how that's going to look, and I've just given myself like total flexibility to figure out what works. So I think we're going to do some during breakfast, and we're also going to have like a read aloud morning time where the kids can maybe do handwriting and drawing. We're adding a lot more read aloud into our school this year because we're doing a lot more like Charlotte Mason inspired curriculums, and so there will be a lot more like me sitting on the couch and the kids reading and reading to the kids and the kids playing with Legos or whatever. So yeah, I really don't know what it's going to look like. I have kind of planned to do our family subjects together first thing in the morning and then individual subjects later in the morning, where maybe I can set my 2-year-old up with an activity, or she can play with her older sister who's 4, and they can sort of entertain each other. So really, coming from the type A personality here, I haven't planned much at all. So I don't know if that's helpful. to anybody. Maybe it's helpful to the mama who needs to know that it's okay not to plan and it's okay to just go into it with an open mind. I have sat down and like made a schedule for our days for the entire year, but it's not a set in stone schedule. It was mainly so I could figure out how to fit everything in, because I'm like picking and choosing curriculum this year, like picking little bits here and there. And so it was for that. And also because this year I had to do Jack's homeschool exemption. Here in New Zealand, before your child hits their 6th birthday, they either have to be enrolled in a school or have an exemption to homeschool. And in order to do an exemption to homeschool, you kind of have to like write out this whole thing about how you're going to meet their learning needs and yada, yada, yada. It's like 22 pages, what I've written so far, and like 6,000 words. So, and part of that was showing how, like, what your daily routine would kind of look like, to give them an idea. So in order to do that exemption, I kind of needed to sit down and really nut out what I was going to do for the school year. So I have done that. But again, everything's very flexible. Nothing is set in stone. And our days will, I mean, it changed so much last year, our day-to-day homeschooling, because I had a baby, like she was changing and her sleep needs changed, and so we had to kind of adjust our schedule based on that. So I'm sure we will do the same again this year. Perhaps not quite so much, because my youngest is a bit older and her routine's a little more set in stone now. Everything's subject to change, and that's okay. And maybe that's what you need to hear right now. But I think that's it. I really don't have a lot more to share. I might, as we start our school year, show you in my homeschool planner how I plan our days out and how I keep track of everything. I use the Charlotte Mason inspired planner from Anna Vance Paper Co. I will share the link to the video where I did a flip through and review of that. You can go check that out. I love it. It is so beautiful. It is like how my brain works. It's perfect. So I will share more about that in the new year once we've actually started our school. Right now, we're still in our summer break, and we've still got like a full 6 weeks until we go back, because we have, before we start back school, we have our church's annual family camp, and then my husband takes a week off of work, and that's kind of like our last hurrah of the summer. And then we will get settled into school after that. So those are my plans for now. If you've got any questions or anything, leave them in the comments below. I hope you found this video helpful and encouraging and just interesting. Maybe it was just some entertainment. Whatever it was, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no war.